What's up YouTube, Metallic here, and today, and by today I mean over the course of 1 to 2 weeks, we are going on a journey through the woods as Ori in the 2D Metroidvania game, Ori and the Blind Forest. Over the course of the few years, I've been finding myself wanting to delve more into the Metroidvania genre. For those who don't know, it's a type of game often involving in platforming with some combat in a non-straightforward level design, often being blocked from progressing one area until you obtain a new ability to move forward in the other one. Often having you resort to heading to some other location, explore there, and then come back. It may sound tedious, and it kind of is, but I promise when done right, it's super fun and rewarding. Some of the more popular ones these days include Dead Cells, which adds roguelike elements to this formula, and of course, Hollow Knight. Another game we reviewed on the channel, which still has a lot of exploration, often has more tense combat and can be more punishing when you die. I'm going to try to avoid as much comparison between the two games, but there is some merit to it that it's like the Dark Souls of Metroidvanias. However, with Ori, after going through the game, we are presented with a beautiful looking world with a greater focus on platforming over combat, so it is a nice foil to Hollow Knight. So is this game good? Well, let's talk about it. Before we dig deeper, thank you for clicking on the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of content here on the channel and more on the way, and every subscriber gets us one closer to the goal of hitting 1,000 by the end of the year, and would love for you to be a part of that journey. Back to the review. Ori and the Blind Forest story is more or less told in a narrative form in the voice of the spirit tree. We begin with Ori, a spirit that actually fell from the tree and was adopted by a more calm Po from Kung Fu Panda named Naru. We get these adorable moments throughout their time together, and it really shows how much fun they've had and the development and amount of trust that they've had for each other, wanting to help each other out to the best of their abilities. Over the course of time, calamity happens, causing the forest to slowly die, taking away from the food that Ori and Naru lived on. Naru using the last of their strength to give Ori the last known fruit and actually dies of starvation. Ori, needing to survive, leaves home due to the lack of food and while in pursuit, also perishes. However, the spirit of the forest revives Ori and soon meets Sign, which is a ball of light that helps Ori along the way to restore the forest by bringing balance by maintaining the elements of water, winds, and warmth. I gotta say, I wasn't prepared with the amount of emotional depth within the first moments of the game. I'll keep out spoilers for the rest of the game. However, in terms of story, there is a lot to have here. The game does a great job at showcasing motives and feelings of the characters you will encounter in your quest. Inherently, it even delves as far as showcasing not everything is black and white. There is some gray, which is often the truth in anything. There is a character who is acting the way they are, which comes off as evil, only to be revealing to protecting their loved ones the only way they knew how. Ultimately, it had some negative effects on the world. However, that wasn't the intention of the character. Their motives were pure to what they cherished. This is something that really stood out to me playing this game and kept me invested into the story to uncover the truth as we proceeded deeper in the story. Let's talk gameplay. This is where the game really shines. The exploration is easily the strength and it's generally fun to control Ori. At first, there isn't too much to be expected. You can run, jump, the basics. Combat starts by using Sign to shoot various firebolts at enemies, which gets the job done, but it felt a bit too safe to be really that engaging. Often at times, the game needs to have both risk and reward to really make the gamer to pursue greater heights and get that sense of satisfaction. As you make your way through the game, Ori becomes more versatile in terms of both combat and exploring. One ability you picked up early on and one of my personal favorites is called Bash. What this does, if you get close to most foes, projectiles, or even some lamps, you can essentially have Ori slingshot themselves off of it and reach greater heights. Another funny byproduct of this is that it also sends the enemy in the opposite direction, and with the well-placed shot, can actually send them into spikes or waters, resulting in a one-hit KO, or even returning their own shots back at them. It's such a fantastic ability that is universally helpful for combat enemies, or even escaping them and exploring areas by reaching places you normally wouldn't have access to, and find hidden items such as life extenders. Another great aspect of abilities are combining them. I mentioned combat at first isn't the most satisfying, however, after realizing that combining abilities can provide some useful battle strategies, I suddenly enjoy this game far more. Combining the slingshot ability as I mentioned with the ground pound you obtain to smash low-bearing walls and floors is a great way to face off against foes. As a Metroidvania, there are plenty of secrets just waiting to be discovered, and exploration is the best way to do it. Other abilities include the double jump to clear longer gaps, wall climbing to scale even higher in the world, water swimming and breathing to explore the depths of the soon-to-be purified waters of life, and even a glide feature that allows you to slowly descend to clear more ground and take a bit more time to serve up higher in the realms. All of the abilities you obtain have an important use, which feels all the more rewarding when they're obtained and mastered effectively. Hell, even the game offers you little tests upon receiving them. These tend to be optional, but worth the time to invest to obtain what's hidden around. And since Ori doesn't treat death that harsh, there is often little risk to doing this. So with Ori, you can use your blue energy to drop these soul links. Soul links, in a sense, think of them as bonfires if you played the Souls-like games, where you upgrade and obtain new abilities from skill points obtained in the world and can respawn. Anytime Ori dies, you'll return to the most recently used soul link or fountain that you've explored. Considering the cost for these is fairly low in comparison to the benefits, there is little risk to the game in terms of platforming sense of this feature. Don't get me wrong, I like this feature a lot. It saves you time on treading grounds. However, during the more difficult sections of this game, it removes the impact of failure to an extent. Another aspect of this game that really struck a chord with me though is the overall use of environment. Sure, Ori abilities are incredibly convenient, however, the way they interact with the world is what separates it apart in a great way. Throughout the game, you'll be using lamps, bows, and other objects in different ways compared to other Metroidvanias out there, and this helps provide a sense of identity for the series and makes everything important in the game while still feeling very unique. The sound design of this game is incredible. It really adds a layer of immersion to the game. It often has a subtle reverb-like effect to nearly everything to add to layer the huge feeling of the world of the forest. The music of the game is well fitting to the areas. There's often a focus of wind in the overarching sound design and to help carry the themes. Along with the light music instrumentation that creates a feel of ambience for it, for the most part, that's how I felt most about the music. It's subtle and it never felt too out of place. Not all the songs are settled though. During the more high-tense situations such as the final obstacles of the world or the chase sequences from Koro, they really kick it up to a notch to provide the same feeling you would expect during a boss fight or some high-stakes impact moment. Overall, with Ori and the Blind Forest, I didn't find anything that really stood out too much in a negative way. Aside from the death not feeling too important, combat takes a bit to pick up, the game is extremely solid from start to finish. Another aspect I should mention that is a bit mixed for me is the finales of the levels you explore. As you progress and obtain the elements, there is a huge race to the end of the aspect to clear the world where you obtain the element. This involves trying to escape before either the environment or some beast tries to kill you. The finale takes less than a few minutes to truly complete, however it is designed for you to fail numerous times and have to achieve essentially a perfect run. These things are wild in terms of falling objects that may be an insta-death, spikes, foes trying to kill you, and everything else the game throws at you. During these segments, other non-safe areas, you can't use soul links to mark a halfway progress, so you pretty much need to keep trying until you start learning the most safest route to proceed and then complete it in just essentially one take. However, with time, patience, and rewarding yourself for making it further each time you make it a new attempt, you will eventually get it down. These at times, I admit, can be frustrating. However, with a perfect run only taking a few minutes, it's not so bad due to the investment in time, and usually helps you in the long run being a better player. All in all, Ori and the Blind Forest is a great take in the Metroidvania genre with a greater focus on platforming over combat and an emotionally told narrative in a world that is just gorgeous to explore. The more you proceed in the game, the more enjoyable it is to traverse the world and all that it holds, and all the creative ways to help you accomplish your goals. Despite having a little risk system due to death not feeling as painful as some other games I've recently played, thanks to the soul link mechanic, and combat feeling a bit lacking early on, the game was a blast to go through. I actually completed this game, I would say, in around 7 to 8 hours in total playtime, when you account for all the deaths that went into each run, especially during the finales of the areas. With the sequel also being released not too long after the original release of this game, Ori and the Will-O-the-Wisp, I plan on going through that game as well sometime in the near future. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and let me know your thoughts on Ori down below, and if we might get a third game in the series. I haven't played the second one, but we will see. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.